Whistling and worrying about wasting time. I'm whistling and worrying about wasting time.
Now there's a real nightmare. Some of the worst ways to die I can think of. Did you know that in the next hour, 250 people in the United States will die? Chances are about 1 in a million that you'll be one of them. Don't touch that dial, it won't change your odds. Tonight, if you stay tuned, we might just make your life a tad less risky. Personally, I worry about everything. I've been waiting for this kind of information my whole life. If you're like me, and like just about everybody I know, you're worried at least a little about dying in a plane crash, or at the hand of a terrorist, or in a massive natural disaster like an earthquake or hurricane. I mean, do you worry about dying in your bathtub? Or driving your car? Which is the greater risk? Every time you fall down, you are 6 times more likely to die than you are being killed in a plane crash. If you travel overseas, you have 1 chance in 650,000 being killed by a terrorist. You're more likely to be hit by lightning. Oh, this is getting worrisome. I get up in the morning, I could fall in the shower. I mean, in the United States, 307 people a day are hurt in the bathtub or shower. The bathroom is the site of 25% of all accidents in the home. 104 people are hurt while shaving. Maybe I should use an electric razor. And yet, every year, 500 people are electrocuted. Everything we do contains some degree of risk. And deciding not to do something can sometimes involve the greatest risk of all. So take a risk with us tonight. And maybe you'll find some new ways of looking at life and the odds. Maybe you'll discover you've been worrying too much about some things and not enough about others.
I realized that you bought a piece of rug to muffle up the noise that you make so I won't hear it. But Michael, I think I may have told you it's really not enough, you know. Sure, it buffs up the noise from your walking sometimes, but it really isn't enough. You're a huge person, and believe me, I wish sometimes you can come down here and a guy your size would be moving around as you do upstairs so you'll hear just how pointed the noise is. Secondly, I had to take a sleeping pill last night to go to sleep. I'm all stressed out. I have a very, very strong and very big client, a new client that's demanding a lot of my energies. I was working until 10:30 last night on the phone, and it was hard for me to unwind. I had to take a sleeping pill, and to be waking up abruptly by noise is not a very desirable feeling. And sometimes I'm tired of having to search for my phone book and look your number up to call you because I'm just totally exhausted, okay? Also, 1 week a month, I'm off of motherhood. I feel I deserve the right to sleep in when I want to because it's hard for me to sleep in on regular weekdays because I take my daughter to school. It's hard enough for me sometimes to sleep in on weekends. Okay, so please be a little bit more considerate. Okay, I'm sorry if you heard me curse or be abrupt, but I need my sleep. And women need their sleep more than men, maybe. I don't know if you don't understand the importance of sleep. But you know, what if I know your alarm usually rings at 9 o'clock? What if I start making noise around 8:15? Would you love me for it, Mike? You know, I mean, it's hard enough for me to go to sleep. Last night, just when I'm building up to getting sleepier and going to sleep, you started, all you need to do is move, a sharp move on your bed, and I hear the creak of your bed. Do you know that? The squeak of your bed. Do you know that? You know, you're a huge person, and the floor is very thin around here, and the walls are very thin. It is so difficult. When that got interrupted, it became so hard for me to go to sleep that an hour later I had to take a sleeping pill, which I hate. I don't like drugs. So can you imagine what I go through down here? I mean, even on regular times, it's hard enough to try to get to sleep when you're walking around. Let alone when I'm in the middle of sleep and then you started making, you know, all this noise like this morning as if you were cleaning your room before I can get up. It's so hard for me to sleep, Mike. And sleep is important to me to function. Not to mention to look good, for God's sakes. Women do need that. I don't know if you don't need it. You seem to not need a lot of sleep because you seem to be up and about all the time. But I do. You know, please be more considerate.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Michael, you're harassing me again. I'm recording everything. I'm getting 6 witnesses down here to listen to every noise you make. You have walked back and forth from your bed several times just when I'm getting ready to go to sleep. You're an asshole.
I'm emotion. I'm the one that puts the tear in your eye at the sight of a beautiful newborn baby and pumps your blood full of adrenaline when somebody does you wrong. I'm the one that squeals in joy on a carnival ride, or sometimes gets frightened for no reason at all. But for all of this, maybe some people think, well, that'd just be better off without emotion. But for all of this, I put the richness in life. I give the satisfaction to a good feeling, a happy occurrence, the returning home of a son who's been in the army. Sometimes I get overactive, and sometimes I put too much fear into life and scare you a little bit and hold you back and slow you down. But you know, maybe it's okay to be held back sometimes. Maybe you don't always have to go on with your life just the way it logically seems like it ought to be done. But mostly, I'm here to make your life better, to make it a little richer, a little warmer, a little slower, so that you know what it's like to sit by your favorite gal beside the fire, or to scream as you slide down a snowy bank in the winter time, or to get a little frightened as your car is careening into another accident and your insurance isn't even paid. Yeah, I don't know. Sure, life would be easier without me, but I like being here. I like being part of the whole scheme of things. I don't quite know what the point of it all is, but we'll just keep going around again. Sometimes I think, why go on? Why even care about somebody when they're just gonna die or leave you or disappoint you? I go and I say, but we've gotta have people in our lives, and all they do is hurt you and disappoint you and cause you more suffering. And I wish it would happen like this, like when little Billy was... We tried to take such good care of him. We tried to be so good. Mr. Fitch, he was a good driver. How could we know that something would happen like this? He was coming back from the ballpark. And logic said, well, just let it go. Just let it go. What does it matter? You can have more kids. But it just wasn't the same after that. Nothing was the same anymore. We'd see his place with the dining room table. And his little chair. And physical needs said, well, you don't have to starve yourself. You can still eat. You can still enjoy a meal. The conscience said, well, take care of the family. Worry about the other kids. But do you know how it feels when you go into the room there and there's a collection of baseball cards? And I think of the time when he said, come on, Dad, just give me 50 cents for more baseball cards. And now, if I could, I'd give him $50,000 for more baseball cards if only he was still here. I don't know what's the point of it. Why go through with this? I wish I could just...
clouds down below. He thinks that he's a sinner. Who told him so? He thinks that he's done wrong. But who has done wrong?